Childhood obesity is an increasing problem amongst the youth in Alaska. According to the Alaska Department of Health and Social Services, about 1 out of 3 children are overweight or obese. Obesity is a gateway to many other diseases. Obese youth are more likely to have risk factors for cardiovascular disease such as high cholesterol or high blood pressure, and obese adolescents are more likely to have prediabetes. Children and adolescents who are obese are also at greater risk for bone and joint problems, sleep apnea, social and psychological problems. If an obese child becomes an obese adult, they become more at risk for adult health problems such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, stroke, several types of cancer, and osteoarthritis. There is no single cure for obesity. This trend will only decrease if preventative strategies are implemented by communities as a whole, including schools, governmental authorities, families, and the healthcare industry. This is no small task and will not happen overnight, but steps toward the goal of reducing childhood obesity can be made by these individual influence. My campaign will be focused on implementing preventative measures in schools, since schools are a major social contributor to the habits and lifestyle children adopt and follow through adolescence and furthermore through adulthood. Children become overweight and obese for many different reasons, most commonly due to genetic factors, lack of physical activity, or unhealthy eating habits. Healthy lifestyle habits, including healthy eating and physical activity, can lower the risk of becoming obese. Schools play a critically influential role on children by providing an environment with a structure that supports certain types of behavior. My campaign will be to implement a program that structures recess in a way that every student involved is required to participate in some type of physical activity. For example, when the weather allows, outdoor activities will be available to the children such as basketball, kickball, soccer, softball, baseball, tag, freeze tags, and things like that. When it's too cold for children to play outside, the cafeteria will be set up in different stations such as a dancing station, a racing station, a tag station, dodgeball, something that'll allow children to be moving instead of sedentary. To accommodate children who do not like sports, have health concerns such as asthma, or do not feel comfortable or just don't like participating in these types of activities, there could be a walking station both in the outside and inside environment so that they're still involved in some type of movement. The theory of reason action can be applied to this health education campaign in that it can create an influence on children that increases their behavioral intent. According to an article that I read, there was a study done on middle school children that measured skill level and competitive activities. Its basis for the study was theory of reason action, since this theory holds that behavior is decided upon the intention to perform the behavior. This study found that students' behavioral intent was greater dependent upon their skill level of a certain activity because they perceived activities in terms of winning and losing. My campaign can increase behavioral intent to participate in physical activity by giving a variety of different activities for children to choose from, so they would not be stuck in one activity where their skill level was low and they wouldn't have fun. They would be able to choose an activity that they particularly like or that they know they have a high skill level in, so they would have more fun. This diagram shows how one construct of this theory leads to the next and ultimately leads to whether or not a behavior is done. A child with the belief that physical activity is fun will have a positive attitude toward physical movement, which would increase his or her behavioral intent to join or participate in the structured recess that my campaign proposes. If teachers and parents are encouraging physical activity, that would structure his or her normative beliefs and how they feel about physical activity as a subjective norm. If they are being encouraged to do an activity they believe is fun, their behavioral intent to actually participate in this campaign proposal will be higher. I think the theory of reason action is a good theory to apply to this health issue because children they base their beliefs on whether or not they have fun. They're not going to participate in an activity they don't think is fun or they don't think they're good at. They'll be discouraged. Their beliefs and attitudes toward an activity or anything is dependent upon the influence, and schools play a particularly significant role in this influence because they see others around doing them or people they look up to, people they consider friends, their parents. If they're all encouraging this physical activity or any kind of physical movement, they'll be more likely to participate in the actual behavior. Thank you for watching.